Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 14, where we will discuss the irregular verbs in the past tense. So, we will be using the same verbs that we used last week, but we're just going to use it in the past tense this time. So, let's go ahead and get started. So, the first two verbs we have here is comenzar and empezar. Now, both of them mean to begin or to start. People use them interchangeably, but let's go ahead and conjugate it. So, comencé, I began. Comenzaste, you began. Comenzó, he or she began. Comenzamos, we began. Comenzaron, they began. And once again, that's all in the past tense. So it also can be comencé, I started. Comenzaste, you started, and etc. Moving on to empezar, conjugation. Empecé, I started. Empezaste, you started. Empezó, he or she started. Empezamos, we started. Or empezaron, they started. And the next you have here is the verb pensar, which means to think. Pensé, I thought. Pensaste, you thought. Pensó, he or she thought. Pensamos, we thought. Or pensaron, they thought. You have the verb encontrar, which is to find. So I found, encontré. You found, encontraste. He or she found, encontró. Ella encontró las llaves. She found the keys, right? Encontramos, we found. Encontraron, they found. Now that is the past tense for the verb to find, encontrar. So you can use it in different sentences. Then you have tener, which is a very commonly used verb, which is to have. Tuve, I had. Tuviste, you had. Tuvo, he or she had. Tuvimos, we had. Tuvieron, they had. And then you have venir, which is to come. Vine, I came. Viniste, you came. Vino, he or she came. Ella vino a mi casa. She came to my house. Vinimos, we came. Vinieron, they came. Vinieron a las 8 de la mañana. They came at 8 o'clock in the morning. But normally you would use the verb llegar, which is to arrive. So you could say like, llegaron a las 8 de la mañana. They arrived at 8 o'clock in the morning. That would be a more proper way to say it. So let's take a look here. And now you have the verb salir, which means to hang out, to go out, or to leave. So salí, I left. Saliste, you left. Salió, he or she left, or he or she went out. Salimos, we left. Or salieron, they left. If you say, for example, ellos salieron juntos, they left together. Then you have the verb decir, which is to tell or to say, either one. Dije, I said. Dijiste, you said. Dijo, he or she said. Dijimos, we said. Dijeron, they said. Ellos dijeron que no quieren ir. They said that they don't want to go. Yo dije que no. I said no. ¿Qué dijiste? What did you say? So those are like some sentences that you can use with this verb. But I want you guys to practice like writing down sentences using these conjugations. So try to write a sentence for each conjugation. Okay? Now moving on to the verb creer, which means to believe. Creí, I believed. Past tense. Creíste, you believed. Creyó, he or she believed. Ella creyó que yo no tenía dinero. She believed that I didn't have money. Ella creyó que no tenía dinero. Okay? Creímos, we believed. Creyeron, they believed. Then, of course, we have the saber versus conocer, which we covered last week. So I want you to notice this. For the verb saber, I'm going to use the imperfect past tense instead of the regular preterite. And the reason of that is because the regular past tense, it is used. However, it's more common for people to use the imperfect past tense, which is the sabía, sabías, sabía, sabíamos, sabían, right? So let's look at the examples here. I put sentences for you. Yo sabía eso. I knew that. ¿Sabías que me gusta cocinar? You knew that I like to cook. Ella sabía inglés. She knew English. Sabíamos que ella es abogada. We knew that she is a lawyer. Sabían que es muy importante. They knew that it's very important. Okay, so this is technically the imperfect past tense once again, but if you hear the sentence translation, it literally means the same as like knew is the past tense way. So those are examples that I am going to use. And if you wanted to research the regular past tense as well, you can also do that. But this is a more commonly way that people are going to say it in the streets, okay? So let's move over to conocer. Yo conocí a este hombre. I met this man, or it also means I knew this man. ¿Conociste a ella? Did you meet her? Did you know her? Same thing. Él conoció a ella. He met her, or he knew her. Nos conocimos. We met each other. La conocieron. They knew her, or they met her. And once again, I want everybody to keep in mind that you're only going to use the verb saber for when it's talking facts, like you're knowing facts or knowing how to do something that you learned, right? And you're only going to use conocer when it's dealing with person, place, or thing. So as long as you know those rules, you won't use them interchangeably. You will know exactly when to use them. So let's go ahead and move on to these next three verbs. Here we have the verb to see, which is ver. Vi, I saw. Viste, you saw. Él vio, he saw. Ella vio, she saw. Vimos, we saw. Vieron, they saw. Poner, to put. Puse, I put. Pusiste, you put. Puso, he or she put. Pusimos, we put. Pusieron, they put. Last but not least, you have the verb poder, which means to be able to, which I like to say hashtag can. Pude, could. Pudiste, you could. Pudo, he or she could. Pudimos, we could. Pudieron, they could. So if you wanted to say, ellos no pudieron ir. Ellos no pudieron ir a la discoteca. They couldn't go to the club. No pude, I couldn't. So believe it or not, the past tense is what people struggle with the most when it comes to speaking Spanish, only because the conjugations can seem confusing in the beginning, but trust me, if you memorize the irregular past tense along with the regular past tense, you'll be fine. You're almost on your way to fluency. So you just have to practice these, memorize these, use them in regular everyday sentences, and record yourself. Constantly drill these past tense conjugations in your head. And if you pay attention, look at all three of these verbs here. They all have the same pattern along as with the other verbs. All of the verbs in Spanish have a pattern. Okay, so if you can just really get hooked on this pattern, then you are on your way to being fluent. So that's all I have for you all today for week 14, discussing the irregular past tense verbs. And I will see you all for week 15. Adios.